Welcome to TrendGuards. Today we're bringing you an authoritative explainer on a massive financial and geopolitical shockwave that is currently ripping right through the AI ecosystem. We are cutting through all the hype to look exclusively at verified data, corporate pricing schedules, and the structural changes happening right under our noses. The short-term noise is finally clearing, and a very real long-term economic realignment has officially begun. So let's dive right into exactly what went down in the tech sector over the past 48 hours. Picture this. You wake up, open your developer dashboard, and realize that a single automated engineering session you ran overnight just cost your company over $10,000. And to be clear, that's not a monthly subscription fee. That is the cost of one single autonomous coding session. Well, this exact scenario became a harsh reality for startups all across Silicon Valley on July 8, 2026. This wasn't a glitch either. It is the officially documented cost of bleeding-edge compute. But the real story here is how the market reacted to that price shock. According to a rigorously sourced CNBC investigation published just hours ago, this unprecedented cost adjustment has triggered a quiet corporate mutiny. American enterprises are actively shifting up to 46% of their entire U.S. enterprise token usage away from U.S. frontier labs, and they're moving it over to low-cost, open-weight Chinese models. Now, you might be wondering why this happened so suddenly. Well, the strict catalyst comes down to a very specific timeline. According to Anthropic's official developer documentation, July 8th was the exact day the company ended its subsidized grace period. Before this, they were offering a 50% weekly usage subsidy to cushion the blow of recent export restrictions. But yesterday, that window officially expired, and enterprise users were forced onto a brutal, full-usage credit billing model for Anthropic's elite Fable 5 architecture. To really understand why corporate finance directors are panicking right now, we have to look at what these models are actually doing behind the scenes. There's a vital distinction between your everyday chatbot and a true autonomous AI agent. When you deploy an agent to refactor a massive codebase, it doesn't just spit out a one-line answer. It uses a continuous recursive loop. It scans millions of lines of code, it plans, it executes, hits an error, self-corrects, and then tries again. This loop eats through output tokens at an absolutely staggering rate. And when we look directly at Anthropic's official pricing update, the raw math is kind of terrifying. For their introductory Claude 5 Sonnet, output tokens cost $10 per million. Step up to Claude 4.8 Opus, and it's $25. But the new Fable 5 tier, that sits at a whopping $50 per million output tokens. Because these autonomous agents loop recursively, a single complex sprint processing just 2 million output tokens instantly hits a $100 base cost. Now, to be fair, Fable 5 is undeniably brilliant. Verified metrics on the SWE Bench Pro framework show it has an unmatched 80% accuracy rating. But that capability is a double-edged sword. If an agent hits a minor logical error and gets stuck in a recursive loop, it can rack up literally thousands of dollars in infrastructure costs before a human manager even gets an alert. Faced with those crushing economics, we are seeing finance departments actively override their engineering teams. Verified data pulled straight from Vercel and OpenRouter developer gateways confirms the new corporate mandate. If a task doesn't absolutely require a frontier model, route it somewhere cheaper. And as a result, open-weight Chinese models have suddenly captured up to 46% of all enterprise API traffic. This is a massive diversion of enterprise volume, and it's happening almost entirely behind the scenes. It's really important to note that this migration is being driven purely by capitalist efficiency. It's not about geopolitical preference. If you look at the technical leaderboard index, models like ZZI's GLM 5.2 have achieved near parity with Opus 4.8. They have a microscopic 1% capability gap on advanced benchmarks, but their absolute killer feature, they operate at a 60 to 90% cost reduction compared to those frontline American models. So this is creating a completely new mathematical reality for developers. It's basically a three-step process now. First, you analyze your automated task requirements. Second, you reserve those wildly expensive frontier models strictly for peak high-end capabilities. And third, you route routine tasks to open-weight models. Operationally, this means a company can run 5 parallel automated tasks on an open-weight model for the exact same cost as a single run on an elite US frontier model. There's a quote from that CNBC deep dive that really summarizes the whole situation perfectly. American frontier labs are rapidly pricing themselves out of the lucrative middle tier of corporate automation. Western labs are successfully defending the absolute peak of high-end capabilities for sure, but they are completely ceding the routine, everyday operational market to some hyper-aggressive international competitors. This defection in the middle tier is hitting Western labs at the absolute worst possible moment. According to a recent report by Exponential View, the generative AI sector is currently generating a respectable 11 digits in annual revenue, but they are burning through a staggering 13 digits in annual infrastructure spending. That massive delta between revenue and spend is creating a profound liquidity squeeze across the entire sector. As Exponential View outlines, these tech giants are spending hundreds of billions of dollars chasing these tiny, microscopic optimization gains at the very edge of human capability. But while all their capital is tied up trying to build the absolute smartest model, their core enterprise customer base is actively defecting to commoditized alternatives just to get their everyday workflows done. And as reported by the Financial Times, this immense financial pressure is forcing some incredibly radical maneuvers. Anthropic is locked in a high-stakes legal battle, flat-out suing the U.S. government over a recent supply chain risk designation, following a dispute with the Pentagon. Meanwhile, on the exact opposite end of the spectrum, OpenAI is reportedly attempting to secure its future by offering the current Trump administration a direct 5% equity stake in its corporate structure. These are verified facts, and they show two wildly different survival strategies as the industry becomes insanely capital-intensive. Our own macro analysis here at TrendGuards points to a really stark reality. The Frontier Labs risk building a beautiful, absolutely flawless skyscraper that nobody can actually afford to live in. The middle tier of the global AI economy is being captured right under our noses, not by superior code, but by the relentless, undeniable efficiency of cheaper tokens. So we want to leave you with this confirmed structural vulnerability to think about. Will US labs like Anthropic be forced to slash their premium pricing to win back enterprise developers? Or have low-cost international models permanently captured the everyday workflow ecosystem? That is the reality of the market as of July 2026. Thank you for joining us for this TrendGuards Explainer. We're going to keep bringing you clear, verified, and heavily sourced analysis of the tech landscape. Keep an eye on those developer gateways, and we will catch you in the next analysis.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next video.